Today in our 2016 Chevrolet Colorado, we're going to be taking a look and installing the BakFlip G2 Hard Tonneau cover, part number BAK 26126. So here's what our tonneau cover looks like fully installed. And this is going to be great to keep your gear secured and dry inside your truck bed. Now this is a custom fit tonneau cover, and the stylish aerodynamic design is going to cut down on wind drag and possibly improve your gas mileage. As you can see, this is going to sit nice and flush with our tailgate and our bed, and it's actually going to sit inside the rails of our truck, so we're still going to have access to all of our stake pockets and any accessories that we might have mounted there. Now this is going to be great for keeping your cargo secure, because with the hard tonneau cover and the tailgate locked, your truck bed is fully secure. And simply unlock the bed and we have access. This tonneau cover does feature a tri-fold design, so you're going to have access to partial or the full access to your bed. Now on the inside, this is great for a one-person operation. You have a pull cord right here, and that's going to unlatch both sides of the locks. Simply pull down on the cord and be able to release the section, folding it forward. Now if we need to get more into our bed, or maybe load up something larger, each panel has a pull cord on either side, so we just pull the cord and we can flip it up. If we need to get all the way in our bed, again, we just reach under here for the pull cord, and with the attached bumpers, they're going to fold right up and lean against our cab. Now also on each side of our truck, we have our prop rods here, and we can simply take them out of the hooks, loosen up our turn knob here, and insert our prop rod there, so we don't have to worry about our tonneau cover falling on us when we're getting in our bed. Now whenever we're done loading up our gear, or we just simply want to put our tonneau cover down, we simply slide this up, fold our prop rod down, put it in the supplied hook here, and do the same thing on the other side. Now we can fold our cover down, and you can hear it lock into place. Now up here on the top, we have two buckles that'll attach right here at the front towards the cab and secure it into place. And now this, as well as the fully closed version, will be our driving positions. Now each one of these panels are made of a 1/2 inch thick aluminum. Now they have a reinforced center, so they're going to add extra durability. And they're finished off with a nice black finished paint, which is going to resist corrosion and rust, as well as be UV resistant. Now the rails here are made of an aircraft grade rust-proof aluminum, and that's going to be the base that the tonneau cover is going to be sitting on. Now if I undo these straps here, I can fold my cover, and each panel is going to be automatically locking. And then close our tailgate, and close the last panel down. Now with the built-in drainage system toward the front of our cab, that's going to help keep water out of the bed, as well as the matte black rubber seal that goes around the perimeter. Now this rubber seal that's going to go all the way around the perimeter, that's also going to help keep out moisture and water from inside our bed. Now this is a no-drill application, and all the hardware is included, and to install this, all you'll need is a 9/16 wrench or socket and a small Phillips head screwdriver. Now each truck is going to be different. Now the manufacturer does provide you with a weather stripping. This is going to go at the very front of your bed, in between the cab and the bed itself, right on the rail. Now in our application, we're not going to be using this because ours has a spray-in bed liner, and the way everything fits, I don't think we're going to be needing this. To begin our installation, we're going to have to put it on our rails. We're going to take each rail. There's going to be a rubber strip on the bottom here. That's going to sit against the top of our rails on our truck. And when you place these on, you want to make sure that this silver tab is towards the cab, and you want to push that all the way towards the front. And this is how they're going to sit. Now with our rail roughly in place, each side is going to have 3 clamps, and they recommend doing it about 6 inches from the back of the cab, in the middle, and then again about 6 inches from the back of the tailgate. Now with our Colorado here, if you feel underneath the bed rail, there is a gap between the bed itself and the cap. Now the manufacturer has supplied shims, and there is a chart in the instructions, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in between our cap and our actual bed rail. That way when we put the clamp on, it doesn't deform our cap or the bed rail itself. So we're just gonna remove the tape and we're gonna slide it up between the bed rail and our cap. And we're just gonna firmly push it in place. Now these are long enough to give you a little bit of leeway, so you have plenty of room to figure out where you want to put your clamp. Now these are clamps that the manufacturer provided us with. Now the way these are going to work is we're going to take our rails, have them in position, and again we have our shim right about here. Now with our rail in the rough place that we want it, you can see here on the clamp it has some teeth. And if you look up on the bottom of the rail here, it has teeth as well. Now we want to make sure that we seat the clamp all the way into the channel so the teeth engage. That's right about where we have our shim. And again, we want to make sure that our clamp is all the way up into the channel. And once we have our clamp all the way up into the channel engaging the teeth, I'm going to go ahead and loosely tighten this nut to keep it snug. Then we're going to come back and apply downward pressure, and using a 9/16 wrench or socket, we're going to go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to put our clamp roughly in the middle here. First, we're going to take the paper off of our shim and find the rough area that we're going to put our clamp right about here. You can come underneath, apply our shim. Now we're going to do the same thing with this clamp. Just get it nice and snug by hand, and then come back and making sure that we're pushing down on our rail as we tighten it up. And we're going to go ahead and put our final shim on this side end and position our clamp, making sure the teeth are engaged. Snug it up by hand. And then again, using downward force, pushing on the rail itself while we're tightening it up. Now with the passenger side done, we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the driver's side. Our next step is going to be installing our prop rods. And here we're simply going to take the end with the open hole. We're going to push it on to the ball right here. And then there's a little hook over here, and that's just going to hold it in place for us. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Our next step is to put the tonneau cover in place. Now, take it out of the package, it's going to look just like this. Now this section is going to go towards your tailgate, and we're going to want that up and towards the cab. So we're just going to lift it up, and we're going to put it in place right on our rails. Okay, now that we have our tonneau cover in place, we're going to lift up this back section here. We're going to flip this section forward. Now, you want to make sure that this weather stripping is sitting against the rail and that you have it seated where you want it to be. Now we're going to come up to these two holes mounted right towards the cab of the truck. Now up here, we're going to take the supplied hardware, and we're going to be taking the inserts for these holes, and we're going to lift up this cover, and we're going to insert them from the bottom into the two holes. Now we can put our cover back down, and we're going to take our buckle, making sure that it's facing towards the rear, and the supplied screws, and we're going to fasten it down. Now I do want to mention, do not use power drills or any other power tools. To install these, you're just going to want to use a Phillips head screwdriver, and just make sure that it's hand tight. And we're going to repeat that same process on the other side. With our buckles installed, we can go ahead and start installing our cab bumpers, which are going to go right here on this end panel of our tonneau cover. Now if we lift it up, we can get an idea of where they need to go. So we have it touching here, along here, and along here. So I think if we evenly space them out, one here, one in the center, and one over here, I think we'll have good coverage. We're going to take our cab bumpers. We're just going to take the red protective strip off. We're going to go ahead and put the first one right about here. Put the second one on the other end. And finally put the middle one right there. Now we can go ahead and double check that we have access and full coverage and we're not going to damage our cab. Looks good to me. Next, we're going to be taking this hardware here. Now we're going to take the turn knob off, the flat washer and the lock washer, and one rubber washer. So all we're going to be left with is this stud right here with this rubber washer, and we're going to insert them at the bulkhead of our tonneau cover. Right here, we're going to be putting in the stud. You're going to want to make sure that it goes all the way through the silver bracket underneath that's on our rails. Insert this in the hole, and we're going to double check that it went through our bracket underneath. Now if we come underneath, we can see that it went through our silver bracket. And now the orders of the washers that we're going to be putting on underneath here. So we're going to put our rubber washer on first, followed by our flat washer, followed by a lock washer, and then finally our turn knob. And we're just going to tighten this down nice and snug. Now we're going to repeat that same process on the other side. Now with our knobs tightened down, we're going to go ahead and unfold our tonneau cover. We're going to check the fit, so we're going to close the tailgate first, bring our back section down, and you can see it fits nice and smooth. Now I do want to mention that if it doesn't fit exactly how you want, the knobs that we tightened down here, along with those silver brackets, the brackets are slotted, so if you need to make any adjustments back or forth, you'll be able to do that. Just simply loosen the knobs. Now that we have our tonneau cover where we want it, we're going to come under here, and there's a pull cord, which will release it, and we're going to fold it back up. Now finally, our final step is to be installing our drain tubes. Now if you look behind our turn knob here, there's going to be a little spout. Now we're going to hook one end of our hose up there, and we're going to use the factory location. We're going to use that as our drain. So we're just going to take a screwdriver, pop that cover out. We're going to attach one end of the hose up to our drain, and the other end of the hose we're going to feed down into our gutter. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, with everything hooked up, we're going to go ahead and fold our tonneau cover back down. With everything fitting the way we want it, we're ready to hit the road. And that'll finish up the look at the BakFlip G2 Hard Tonneau cover, part number BAK 26126 on our 2016 Chevrolet Colorado.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.